What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Now, I thought real hard before touching this subject, but I got in notification or somebody hit me up on Instagram to Tommy Sotomayor's Instagram page. Now, he has a lot of different accounts, but the one I'm referring to is at TJ Sotomayor KOC. And there is a post that he's talking about Kevin Samuels, in which he says, "What's really sad to see is the blatant theft of me, told Tommy Sotomayor, that you see being done by at Kevin R. Samuels. Not only is this man straight up jacking my talking points, but catchphrases too. One thing I have been from day one is an original, but I think it is sad that a fellow black man will steal and profit from my work and not give me my proper dues. I have avoided this topic for months, but I will be addressing it finally, as now I got family pointing it out. I have fed so many black men the last 10 years, they should call me the man stimulus package. Hashtag Tommy Sotomayor. Hashtag the original." And then if you look at that comment, you have people agreeing with him or disagreeing with him. But I want to give, Tommy Sotomayor his props. I came on YouTube 2015, and, I would say from like 2015 to like 2018, 2019, Tommy Sotomayor was the undisputed, king of black YouTube. And I think Kevin Samuels is that now, but for years, Tommy held that title, like, without question. There was not a YouTuber that was, in my opinion, as talented as him, as creative as him, as hardworking, and those things he still is. What happened with Tommy Sotomayor as far as kind of how his career went? He kept losing a lot of different channels, and he was getting into our people rather, was attacking him, and he would have these kind of beefs with different YouTubers and stuff like that. Ultimately, you can only do that for, I believe, like so long, and he still has a huge following, a huge fan base. He still makes a ton of money, I'm pretty sure. And then a lot of guys were influenced by what he does. I mean, a lot of people in the manosphere love Tommy Sotomayor. I mean, he definitely makes a lot of points. He was one of the first guys, if not probably the first guy, that brought up a lot of the issues with black women before we did it, okay? And he did it in a more creative way for many guys, and more of a, if you want to say, ruthless way. And a lot of guys, enjoy. He's one of the most entertaining YouTubers that I know. And Kevin Samuels, I know before he blew up, watched Tommy Sotomayor. So it's not without question that everybody has looked up to Tommy Sotomayor, because he was the first guy with the OBS. He had really good sound. He had really good equipment. So Tommy Sotomayor was the pinnacle in the guy that influenced most people in the black YouTube space. He was the guy that most people tried to be like. Now, what he accuses Kevin Samuels is taking talking points. Now, obviously, Tommy was involved in talking about the black community's issues before Kevin was. But because somebody takes talking points, it sounds like they're taking talking points. I don't think that they're taking your style. Now, I do know that Kevin has given Tommy's props, and even Tommy admitted that that he's heard him say that, but he still has taken his style and not given his proper just due. I want to say this to Tommy and the guys that came before our generation. Even guys like Phil Scott, when he talked about the issues that black men were going through. I mean, you guys opened up the door for a lot of us today. And we thank you for it. Indirectly or directly, it wouldn't be, a market for what we do without guys like guys like you and who else? There's so many other guys. Black Ram was on here before, but I want to say this: Kevin Samuels' style, and I think we have to talk about this. If he wasn't as successful, his style penetrates to a different sort of audience and a different sort of crowd that I've never seen anybody been able to get into. Okay, just like Tommy's crowd, in style is something that nobody can do. Kevin Samuels' way of doing things is very calculated. He doesn't get into beefs and things like that. And while Kevin has definitely been influenced by the manosphere, he was a fashion guy before he came over here. He watched Tommy. I think it's safe to say, man, there's nobody like him, right? Just like there's nobody like Tommy. And I think that when you're a guy that has had an impact on Black YouTube like Tommy, you're gonna influence people to look at things and think things a certain way. I don't know how much props he want him to give him, but I will tell you this: I think Kevin wrote his own ticket. With all due respects to anybody. And I'm a guy that saw Kevin since 2017. Kevin wrote his own ticket. Whether he has been influenced by other people in that, nobody has ever been able to do it like Kevin. I remember when Kevin came out with his first show with Ramil and all like that. Kevin is just a different animal, right? Just like Tommy. At the height of Tommy Sotomayor, man, I've seen Tommy do things I never seen no other YouTuber do. To be fair, not even me. Kevin has done things I know I can't do. So, I want to say this with the Black content creators. When you're good, people are biting Kevin style now. When you're good, people gonna, when you influence people to do certain things, and Tommy was the first I seen with the heavy equipment, people gonna do what you're doing because you're in the business. That's just what comes with being good. And I think that what I want to say is, and I don't know if some of this may have come because Tommy asked him to come on to the show, and at the time, Kevin, I don't know if he declined it or was too busy to come on or something like that happened. I'm not sure. But I do want to say, there's enough room for everybody. That's just the truth. There's enough room for everybody to do what they're doing. Tommy got market. Kevin got a market. I got a market. All brothers got a market. And I like to give my props to guys like Cy Netter. Cy Netter Black News 102. I have a lot of ways in trying to build a community. Every time I talk to Cy Netter, I always give Cy Netter his props. People get mad at me for that. Cy Netter is a trendsetter in Black YouTube space, just like Phil from the African Diaspora Network. He did a lot of things that that built communities that you got to give him his props. You got to give Tommy Sotomayor his props. You know what I mean? Guys like that. Because those guys, before we was even on here, before we ever made a YouTube channel, those were the guys that were killing it, and they still relevant today. And it's hard to stay relevant over these years of times. And I know Tommy, I know Kevin, and I like both of their content. And but what I would say is, I think that everybody has been influenced by everybody. And I don't know about the catchphrases. He said that Kevin has taken some of his catchphrases. I've never heard Kevin say his catchphrases. That don't mean that he hasn't did that. But what I would like to say is, I'm pretty sure that Kevin has given him props before, just like he's given me props before. And nobody will disregard or say that Tommy Sotomayor isn't a good YouTuber, or he isn't talented, or he isn't a trendsetter. All of those are true. He is a trendsetter. He is very talented. But what I will say is that Kevin has worked hard at what he does. He has worked hard because he built his own name by showing up every night. He built his own name understanding the algorithm, understanding how things work. I know Jason Black also said that Kevin stole his idea and stole his platform. I just think that, his whole idea and his whole style and how he does things is totally different from everybody else's. You know, his success is not because he stole like a catchphrase from somebody or something like that. I accuse a YouTuber, you know, we gonna call him Poach. We won't call him what he calls himself. And that he stole something blatantly from me. But I'm not gonna say that he's successful because he stole my catchphrase. You know what I mean? He's successful because he put in work. He is a thief. He is a biter, right? And YouTubers hate that, and I get it. And I'm not saying that, you know, that Tommy is wrong. I don't know that part. But what I will say is I believe that Kevin and Tommy wrote their own tickets on Black YouTube. They did it their way. They have their own way of doing things, which are distinctly different from one another. And they're both successful. So, and both of them work very, very hard to get what they want to do. So I want to give them both props on both of their successful careers, as both of them got more money than me. That's for goddamn sure. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrities Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment pinned to the top. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts. And as you know, the buffoonery remain at an all-time high. I'm out.